What up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the WiseTake MLB DFS Wise Stream. CK013 here. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. And of course, I'm from the WiseTake Nation, which you can find on the social media platforms listed above or directly at WiseTake.com. If you're looking to take your DFS game to the next level, we are a premium DFS content provider as well as a DFS community design to help make you a better DFS player. Go check us out. Day pass is available, yada, yada, yada. If you're new to this channel, welcome. You've come to the right place for some free DFS content. Please subscribe, hit the notifications bell. Don't miss out on any of the free content we put out Monday through Friday, really Sunday through Thursday, but covering slates Monday through Friday. What we do. Hit the like button on the video. It helps us out, goes a long way. Leave some comments. Curious to hear your feedback on not only the show but the slate. I want to hear your thoughts, man. WiseTake is all about a community feel. Speaking of a community feel, couple interesting things that I wanted to point out. The benefits of having a little community action. First off, I want to give a shout out to our boy MG, WiseTake Nation, longtime WiseTake Nation member, OG. Earlier, I popped in the Slack chat and I said, give me some low-end pitchers. Patio Joe popped in and was wondering if Domingo Germán was going to be popular. We all said no. That was one. Did well. And then MG came in with the Cole Irvin, and I was actually on the other end of that. I was more towards the Rays side. I actually wrote up the Rays as one of these stacks for one of the lower owned stacks, and I said explain, and he just dropped some game theory shit on me. So as simple as that. Just drop some game theory. He's gonna be low owned. He's playing a team that strikes out a lot. Big park, boom, make it happen. So shout out to him for making that happen. And while we're on MG had pointed out that we had the Chicago White Sox game postponed, right? Literally right before lock. So apparently DraftKings and FanDuel are allowing you to swap out of those games. I don't know if it's if the game is postponed before it's lock time or whatever the case is, but they let you swap out completely well after the game scheduled time. MD pointed out that FanDuel let him do that the other day. DraftKings and MG was just popping in the Slack chat, adding the channel, letting everybody know, the MLB DFS channel, that you can still swap off of that game. So hopefully you were able to do that. Hopefully you got the messages and were able to make those switches off. Good shit. Shout out to MG. Good shit. Shout out to Patio Joe, man. Drop it in there with that little, Domingo, the lower owned Germán. I gotta flip this thing up real quick. I got yesterday's slate pulled up. I forgot to do all that shit. I'm gonna have to go in and fix that real quick. So we have a 4-game slate on each side. It does look like DraftKings ended up removing the White Sox game because they're doing a doubleheader, which I think is the way to go. I mean, I'm just not a fan of the mix thing, and I don't know. So DraftKings, it'll say 5 games, but if you actually open up, you will see that they have put a little note at the top, letting everybody know that the Detroit and Chicago White Sox game will not be included in this set, and players will not receive fantasy points. So shout out to DraftKings on making that decision. Granted out the game. FanDuel don't even mess with that shit. They weren't even on there to begin with. They got nothing to cancel. They were never going to include them. They don't fuck with the double headers, and I think that's the way to go. The downside is now we only got a 4-game slate, and it's not a great one. We don't have all the pitchers just yet. When I checked the MLB probables page, the Rockies have not announced their pitcher. I think Senzatella is who is lined up for it. So we think it'll be Senzatella, but I guess they haven't submitted that officially. And then the Braves haven't committed to a pitcher yet. Looks like Kyle Wright is who DraftKings has as the probable, but they haven't actually submitted that. Actually, it looks like Kyle Wright was on the 17th. That was a while ago. It was optioned to Atlanta's alternate site. If it's him, shit, we're stacking the Cubs, right? But he could be. He could be, or maybe it'll be Bryce Wilson. I don't know. We'll have to see. We don't know yet who it is. So those are the kind of things we'll keep in mind. and we'll go ahead and delve in. Oh, by the way, we talked about the relevancy thing, right, with the thumbnails. Thumbnails continue. Steven Matz was the thumbnail for yesterday because we talked about wanting to go back to the old times. We would get beat up by the Nationals, and what happened? The Nationals beat that ass. So there's not a humble brag. Just it's funny that, well, I guess it kind of was, but you know what I mean. It's just the thumbnails have been relevant, right? Made Bauer today. There was really no way around that. There was no way around it, and we're gonna get into why. Main reason there was no way around it is if you look at the strikeout numbers that we have here. Hold on one second. I think it's Lauer. Hold on one sec. We got to make a little change here real quick. I think FanDuel had the wrong pitcher. I'm going to make this. He's not even in there. I do believe for the Brewers, they confirmed this. Yeah, the Brewers are pitching Eric Lauer. I know FanDuel has... Oh, we just don't have him? Why am I seeing Freddie Peralta's stats here? Just gotta make this quick fix. Flat. And let's see if he's even in the pool. It looks like FanDuel does not even have Eric Lauer in the pool. Not sure why. That should fix that. We should see this pop up in just a second. There we go. All right. So as I was saying, you'll see why. Trevor Bauer, 36% K rate. Zolai had a really small sample last year, so we don't want to make too much of that. Or has a tough matchup against the Braves as well, so I'm just going to throw that out there. Trevor Bauer is the elite option here, right? Is there a way around that? I don't really see it. They're playing the Brewers. Even if the Brewers do hit him a little bit, it's hard. You got to figure there's like 10 to 14 strikeouts somewhere. I would say 10 to 12 strikeouts lingering in this game. So I really don't see a way around it. SP2 is going to be a thing on DraftKings, but I don't see a way around playing Bauer. You would need an injury, most likely, for it, because even if there's other pitchers who do as well, it's just likely that you could make up the money somewhere else. Speaking of Zolai, I think he's a decent pitcher with decent strikeout stuff, but his contact metrics are a little worrisome, right? 36.4% on contact rate. He happens to be playing a really good offense who just went nuts. Now, I think that he's definitely in play as an SP2 in tournaments, and on FanDuel, the benefit, if you really did want to load up on offense and say, fuck it, he is extremely cheap. But again, the matchup is tough, right? It's the Braves. The Braves do strike out, but they also hit really well. So, take that for what it's worth. I think that... After that, man, it's rough. I'm not interested in Luke Weaver. Okay, I don't want to be interested in Luke Weaver. Maybe we have to be interested in Luke Weaver. But then you're looking at, Eric Lauer against the Dodgers, which I'm not thrilled about. Right? Not a big strikeout guy. Was not very good last season. Antonio Senzatella, if it is him pitching, not thrilled. I think as Zolai. And like Kyle Gibson. And I do think people will play Luke Weaver. I think Weaver will be... People seem to like Luke Weaver. For whatever reason, people like this kid. And the price is reasonable. And he's playing the Rockies away from core, so it makes sense. So I think that Weaver and Zolai, I can't say his damn name, will be the two more popular SP2s. And maybe Weaver more so because people, number one, seem to like him. And number two, they may lean more towards attacking the Rockies rather than attacking the Braves, who for 10 runs. I think I kind of lean towards Adbert Alzolay against the Braves. Just kind of chasing the strikeout upside. He does have good strikeout stuff. Kyle Gibson against Boston is kind of tough. Gibson has not looked that great this year. The good thing about Gibson, he's going to throw a lot of pitches. Depending on what happens with the weather, if they open up the roof, that could make things a little more difficult. The roof is closed, though. This does play out typically as a more pitcher-friendly ballpark. You could argue for Martin Perez against the Rangers, just because it's the Rangers, especially with a lefty. You look at the Rangers, and a lot of their better hitters are left-handed, or at least that was the case last season. I do think Adolis Garcia is an improvement. Nick Solak is an improvement, but you still got like Calhoun, Joey Gallo, Nate Lau, David Dow. They're all left-handed. So it's rough. It's leaving you in a weird place. And again, we don't know who the Braves pitcher is going to be. Maybe they drop some kind of gem on us. Maybe they drop somebody worthwhile. If it's Kyle Wright, it's not it for me. I can tell you that. Maybe it's Bryce or something like that. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe it's a bullpen game. But we're going to want to know. But as of right now, Alzolay's my favorite SP2 option. Maybe followed by Kyle Gibson, which I feel terrible about. But at least, let me explain. I got nothing. I'm on FanDuel 9-2 for Kyle Gibson. I just can't do that. Right? On DraftKings is an SP2, really. So Weaver, Alzolay, Gibson. Expect that to be your chalk, more or less. Right? In terms of top offenses, I do think the Dodgers should be looked at as a top offense. Lauer has not looked good. Dodgers one of the best offenses in the game. So I'm good with that. FanDuel didn't even put him in the pool. At least I don't think. I couldn't find him. I'm about to check one other place. Yeah, he's not even in the FanDuel player pool. FanDuel just gave up on him. So the Dodgers would be number one. I personally, as far as loan stacks go, I like the Rockies, and I'm hoping that Luke Weaver is kind of popular. I'm hoping. I'm just not a weak Weaver guy, you know. Most of us aren't at the WiseTake Nation, so I'll have an eye out on that situation. I mean, big fly ball guy, right? Big fly ball guy, big hard contact rate guy. It's the Rockies. If the roof is open in Arizona, which we could probably check that now. I mean, 90 degrees in Arizona, man. 90 degrees in Arizona. Roof information. Let's look. It's going to be open. As far as I see. Thursday, April 29th, open. When that roof is open, it's a big deal. Makes a big difference. Thin air over there. So, yeah, I like the Rockies offense. I mean, we could talk about the Cubs. They're a good offense, a potent offense, kind of like the Braves. They can strike out a lot, but they have a lot of upside. But we don't know who the pitcher is just yet. I am going to tell you to keep an eye on who that pitcher is, and I'll make sure to reflect in my article and also write in the Slack a little bit about what we think of that guy, right? Then we get to this Boston Ranger game. So if you're not going to pitch Gibson, if you're not going to go that route, do you like Gibson? Do you like the Red Sox against Gibson? And I'm cool with it. They just saw DeGrom. This is definitely a change of pace. Had to travel all the way to Arlington. Again, I'm a little concerned about how the park plays. Curious to see if they open the roof. If they open up the roof, I definitely lean towards the Red Sox offense. But if the roof is closed, it's just blah. I guess the better question is, what do you want to do, Martin Perez? Last year, 4.5 ERA, 70% K rate, but a 5.43 Sierra, 5.2 xFIP. He's this king troll. He really is king troll. And he's playing a Ranger team that was not good against lefties last year. And again, a lot of their better hitters are left-handed. But I'm curious as to what their ownership's going to look like. Ownership's going to have a lot to do with these smaller slates more than anything. On the larger slates, ownership just doesn't seem as important. Like, it's important, but it doesn't feel as important because there's so many options. There's so many low-owned plays. On smaller slates like this, ownership is like everything. It's not about just fade every single chalk there is necessarily. Yes, going underweight on majority of chalk is beneficial, but you do need to hit on the right chalk. And maybe that's Trevor Bauer, or maybe that's the wrong approach. Maybe it's more of an offensive thing. But we're going to want to wait and see which way it goes. But, yeah. So things I'm, kind of like looking forward to seeing is the Boston, Texas outcome. I'm curious. I want to see what the outcome looks like. As far as Vegas goes, they seem to think it's going to be is like a middle of the road type game, right? So like 8.5 or 9, I think, is the current total. So I think that one's an interesting one. And then again, we need to see who the Braves pitcher is. So some variables out there. But Trevor Bauer, right? Like, I mean, it'll probably be 80-90% owned. DraftKings maybe 100 because, you know, unless the Braves are rolling out somebody going to surprise us, maybe. Pop in that YouTube chat. Maybe someone knows here. Nah. It's not true. Anyway, Dong Watch. All right, we'll pick some home runs. Who's going deep for us? Let's take a look. I think that I think we'll go with let me think about this. All right, I want to go with a Rocky here. Off Luke Weaver, assuming it is Luke Weaver. I'll go Trevor Story, right? Just by I'm already going Rockies. Trevor Story. And that's the other thing about the Rockies is their price. They're very curious to see what people end up doing. You know what? We top offenses, D-backs, obviously against Senzatella, right? I didn't even touch on it because it just seemed kind of obvious. They'll be popular, yeah. Most popular stack on the slate will probably be the D-backs. Just gonna throw that out there. Should have said at the beginning, didn't. Should have, didn't. Shouldn't have, should have, didn't. I think it would be D-backs, Dodgers, and Boston. I think those will be the more popular offenses. And depending on who the pitcher is for the Braves, maybe even the Cubs. I don't know. Second pick for the Dong Watch. Let's go. Let me see here. I'm going to go with Adolis Garcia. He's kind of screwed me the other day, but I'm going to go back to him on the Rangers, the righty, to match this lefty for us. And then we'll end it up with Justin Turner against Eric Lauer. Justin Turner. So Turner was the last one, right? Trevor Story, Justin Turner, Adolis Garcia. That's today's Dong Watch right there. All right, nation. That's going to do it for me. Small slate, short show is what it is. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. One more show this week, which will be tomorrow night for Friday's slate, and then we'll take the weekend off, come back at it Sunday night, breaking down the following Monday slate. So let's get it. Let's make some money. There are two slates today, so if you want people to get up early enough, we don't cover any content for the early slates at WiseTake.com, but if you are around, hit me up in the Slack. If you're a part of this Slack, hit me up in MLB Slack. We can go over what the game plan is, right, for the early slate. Double the slate, double the fun. Both small slates might as well play two, right? Two together equals maybe one big one. Maybe. That's going to do it. Hit the like button on your way out. I appreciate you. For myself, the entire WiseTake Nation, as always, good luck.